For my entire life, I have always lived somewhere on the East Coast. Sure, I've been to the West countless times, but I never had a reason to move away from where I grew up more than just a 3.5-hour car ride to Baltimore. Today, that's about to change big time as I pack up and fly over to San Francisco, California, my new home. You know, originally I had brought up to my dad that maybe we should drive all the way across the US so I can actually bring some stuff, but he wasn't having any of that, so instead we chose Southwest Airlines, where of course you get 2 free checked bags per person, plus a carry-on and a personal item. The plan now being I will take 1 big and 1 small suitcase for myself to check, my fiddle being my carry-on, then my dad checking another big suitcase, and of course his own stuff. Obviously, I don't need all these suitcases in SF, so that second big bag is an old one that I'll just chuck in San Francisco. Maybe someday I'll do that drive across the nation, but today we're headed on 2 Southwest flights, the first to Phoenix, the second to Oakland, California, just across the bay from San Fran.
Now it's too late, we drift away through space and time.
After sitting in the food court area eating some delicious chicken, we saw our plane arrive in from Atlanta, so it was then off to gate A3 to greet it. An 8676A would be our first ride of the day, a Boeing 737-800 in the Heart livery, at the time of filming, over 5.5 years old. Since I had a pretty good boarding position in A53 today, the seat pickings on board were aplenty, so I went with 20F right behind the wing. Even though this is a newer plane with mood lighting and large overhead bins, the seats obviously aren't new for some reason. Instead, we have Southwest's older gold seats, which don't have adjustable headrests. Still not a bad seat though, with padding being alright, there being a few inches of recline, and legroom being great. In front is the safety card found inside this small pocket, with the tray table just above that, and nothing else. Windows on board are also seemingly larger than what my second ride of the day will be, and 20F has amazing alignment. Once my dad finally came on by, he took the aisle seat, and we were thankfully left with an empty middle seat for the entire flight. So let's get going to Phoenix.
Para vai, put it,
Just after takeoff, flight attendants would begin the cabin service for this flight, so before they came through, I should point out the tray tables on board are nicely sized and extendable. If you'd like to see what drinks they offer, look no further nowadays than the pamphlet inside the seat back pocket. But when this was shot, there was no such thing, so I had to look it up on my phone when connecting to their IFE system. Again, at the time, there was only 5 drink options, but Southwest has since brought back their full entire menu. Also at the time, FAs passed through the cabin holding up this card with each drink assigned a number to it, for which you'd then hold up your finger to limit talking on the flight with masks. And once again, this is no more, as masks aren't mandated anymore. Southwest is probably the only major US airline to not come through with carts. Rather, they take drink orders waiter style and pass out snacks from a basket. On this flight, instead of their awesome snack mix, we only got a bag of pretzels. And unfortunately, that was it too. Southwest is usually pretty good with handing out a bit more on longer flights such as this, but sadly not today. Once the FA assigned to our row finished up making our drinks, he came by and delivered my Coke to me. Since this video does contain my full entire trip to SF, I will limit what I show on this flight to one more thing, that being the lavatory on the 737-800. Unlike the 737-700 I'll be on next, which has 2 lavs, the 800 has 3, this being one of the 2 in the back, and immediately I can tell, like the seats, this too hasn't been updated. The one pro is it's definitely at least a bit larger than American's 737 lavatories. Also, unlike Southwest 737-700s, this 800 has mood lighting on board, which I always appreciate on an aircraft, as even though it's just some lights, it does indeed enhance the cabin vibe. So, with us now firmly flying over the Midwest, entering the Great Plains, you will hear my voice again once we land in Arizona. With Phoenix being a hub for American and a focus city for Southwest, I would have to start getting used to seeing this airport a lot more in the months ahead. Pretty nice first flight on the Love airline. It's always nice to sit next to someone you know and have plenty of space to move around and do what you want. This 737-800 unfortunately didn't have Southwest's newest hard product on board, but legroom was still there, along with Wi-Fi, free entertainment, and free snacks and drinks. Our second flight to Oakland was right on time, and was coming up very quickly, as our connection time was only 50 minutes in total, which means we'll probably only have around 25-ish minutes to figure things out, grab some lunch, and head to our next gate. So, let's head inside here.
Who can stop my hands from shaking? I need you to take them. I'm burning out.
Flight number 2 today to K Oak aboard Southwest would depart from gate C16 here at hot Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. Before heading to the gate, we stopped by Panera Bread, where I got a smoothie and a bowl of soup for the flight, which was about to board. From my experiences now passing through this airport, it's okay to have layovers here as long as they aren't long. PHX isn't a great airport to spend a ton of time waiting around in, as it's always extremely crowded with not a ton of open areas to get away from people. Today, while it was quick, was perfect. Off and onto this plane now, N234WN, a 15-and-a-half-year-old Boeing 737-700 in the Canyon Blue livery, which was Southwest's second paint job in their history, the first being the original Desert Gold, which can funny enough still be found on a bunch of wheelchairs here in Phoenix. With the service trucks now pulled away from our aircraft and the remaining bags being loaded on, hopefully all of ours included, it was time to board once again. Last flight, an 800 which had 175 seats on board. This flight, a 700 which has 143. Because the last plane had an older hard product, one that is identical to this plane's seats, well, there's really no reason to show everything again. Only difference is legroom is a bit tighter, and unfortunately, we will not have an empty middle seat on this flight, as it's full. But luckily, Phoenix to Oakland isn't nearly as long as from Pittsburgh to here, so no worries on my part. After boarding was complete, we began the pushback sequence, and it was finally off to my new home.
Located in your seat back pocket also works as a fan. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the do's and don'ts. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this 1 hour and 35 minutes into Oakland. We appreciate you, and we thank you so very much for choosing us here at Southwest Airlines.
I know Southwest was born in Texas, but there's something about flying them actually in the Southwest that hits home for some reason. Obviously, flight attendants would come through again with their usual cabin service soon. However, another bag of pretzels obviously isn't enough for me, so time to chow down on my broccoli cheddar soup I got. Virtually identical to the first flight, FAs passed through with the same exact pretzel bags and the drink cards with the 5 menu items on it. I just went ahead and grabbed another Coke. Also, as I just mentioned, you can see on this napkin the original route triangle that launched Southwest Airlines. The last real thing to show on this airline before we begin our initial descent into the Bay Area is the free in-flight entertainment system. Southwest has never had personal TV monitors on their seatbacks, or power outlets for that matter, so the only sort of entertainment you'll get is on your own devices that must be charged beforehand. Luckily, there is quite a decent collection of movies, TV shows, live TV channels, and music to watch and listen to on board, along with, of course, weather and the flight tracker. I've always found Southwest IFE to be very quick and responsive on all my past flights with them, Their $8 internet though, maybe a different story, but as far as that price, it is the same on any Southwest flight, no matter the duration and distance. As I definitely just wanted to enjoy the passing scenery outside in the final moments, I opted out of purchasing that Wi-Fi today. Very unfortunate, the closer we got to San Francisco and Oakland, the more smoky the sky got. 2021 was a very bad year for wildfires in California, and it definitely showed on this flight in late August. The smoke got so bad to the point where the sun was even struggling just to get through, as we descended down on final approach into Oak. Some welcome to the area, eh?
Surrounding area, around your feet.
If you're starting to feel or think at this very moment, or really any time within the last year, why in God's name did you move to San Francisco? Well, I previously answered that pressing question in this particular video, but I will probably at some point in the future devote an entire new video to that, because it goes beyond the simple answer. Honestly, for my move here to the Bay, I couldn't have chosen a better airline than Southwest. Those 2 free check bags and free carry-on and free personal item really comes in clutch in this situation. And as far as getting us here, it was an incredibly smooth operation with very little wait time and just how I like it.
Flight attendants, please confirm your doors and cross-checks for arrival.
Oakland, California, parking lot.
Well, and there you have it, guys. I have finally caught up to right here where I'm sitting in this city, San Francisco, 1 year ago. That is also when I decided to switch completely to the new voiceover and vlog stuff. You may have noticed that I haven't completely switched over to vlogs, which is me talking to you on this camera, and that's about to change right now. Since this was the point that I decided to switch, from here on out, it is all gonna be vlogs, and, well, the airplane stuff will still have voiceover, because it fits well with that stuff. But in terms of, like, travel vlogs, my daily life, that'll all be talking to you right here on this camera. That will also come with one more update to this channel, because I am going to be expanding, as you have seen in the past few months and all the way back from that Barrow video. Since I'm going to be expanding outside of aviation and trains and the transportation stuff into more of like what I'm doing when I go places, I have a big announcement. I will be changing my channel name. Not drastically, but back to the original name I had, which is just The Jazz Guy 13. That's it. No more aviation. I want to stress I will still be doing aviation stuff for a long time. It's just not good to have aviation in your title when you're not completely doing aviation anymore. So that's the update. It will just be The Jazz Guy 13. If you're a very long time subscriber to this channel, you'll remember that was my original name, and I am finally going back to that. So I'm very excited. It's finally here. Vlogs on aviation content and vlogs with daily life from here at my home base in San Francisco. Very excited. I hope you are too. Thank you for watching this video of me moving on Southwest Airlines to the Bay. Lots more to come. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you in the next one.